Here we go with some Soulfly. Soulfly is the other band Max Cavalera formed, and they still make music to this day, with a new album coming out next week at the time of this recording. Sepultura was all about thrash and groove metal. Soulfly's all groove and new metal. Well, let's finally move on with the album, starting with Soulfly. Oh hell yeah. Fantastic debut. Eye for an Eye, No Hope Equals Fear, First Commandment, and of course there's Bleed with a feature from Fred Durst. They just knocked it out of the park with the first album. Let's see if they can continue the momentum with Primitive, and already this is my favorite album from them. This is nothing but new metal. This album features some pretty big names in the metal industry. Chino Moreno from Deftones on Pain, Tom Araya of Slayer on Terrorist, and of course Corey Taylor of Slipknot on Jump the Fuck Up. I absolutely love Bring It and Boom. This entire record is just very bombastic, with so many catchy riffs and beats. I don't really see another one of their records topping this one for me, but we'll see. So let's move on to 3. Damn, this record is super catchy. Those first few tracks are so good. I didn't really notice any features that I recognize, or unless I missed somebody. This record is not Primitive level of good, but it's still great. Prophecy. This album is a bit weird. I definitely like this a bit more than 3. Like, the first half is really good. It's just this album gets experimental, and some of the choices are definitely weird, like Moses being a mixture of reggae and metal, and they definitely added more of those calming ambient sections to the songs. They don't bother me, I just don't want them to overload the album with them. I definitely enjoyed this album. There's just some weird choices in it. Dark Ages. I don't know about you all, but I think this beats the last 2 albums out of the water. This album is aggressively groovy. I adore that opening transition with the Dark Ages to Babylon. And then there's I, Carved Inside, Arise Again, Corrosion Creeps, Riot Starter, Bleak. This record just doesn't have a track that misses. It's fantastic, and it immediately shot straight up there with the first 2 albums for me. Conquer. Yeah, this Soulfly train is still chugging along. Not as good as Dark Ages, but still not bad at all. I feel like this one has a more thrashy sound to it. I don't know if that means Max slowly goes back to the thrash sound of old Sepultura, but it still sounds good. The highlight tracks for me were Unleashed, Paranoia, and Rough. They even did a cover song from a person that shall not be named. Omen. Wow, this one's actually pretty close to being as good as Dark Ages. It definitely sounds like there's more thrash to this one, while still keeping the groove elements. I really like that this record is only 40 minutes. Makes the album fly by. I really liked Rise of the Fallen. Great Depression has a really good solo. Off With Their Heads has a really catchy hook. Kingdom might be one of the best tracks on here. And Vulture Culture sounds like something Max would make in his golden Sepultura days. But yeah, this one's definitely one of my favorites. Enslaved. Another great one. I may like Omen a bit more, but damn, this one gets close. I really like the first feature on World Scum. Having Travis Ryan of Cattle Decapitation on here is badass. There's also a feature on Redemption of Man by God, and I think Revengeance is a very cute way to close the album, by Max having a few of his family members do vocals on the song. But yeah, this one is great. Savages. This one in my opinion is pretty decent. It still has some good material, but compared to the past few albums that have been really great, this one is just a bit weaker to me, but I would at least call it above decent. I did really like the feature of Tony Campos from Static X. Archangel. This is personally one of the weaker ones for me. I couldn't really get into this one as much. It's not bad at all. In fact, so far, I don't think there's been a bad Soulfly album yet. This one is just definitely one of the weaker ones for me. Ritual. Now, I think this one's a lot better than the last one. I really like how the opening track builds up to its explosive start, and then the track after that, Dead Behind the Eyes, is a very cool song that features the legendary Randy Blythe of Lamb of God. The Summoning has some good aggression. Evil Empowered, Demonized, Bite the Bullet, all great songs. I'm just glad they stepped up after the last one. Totem. They just can't miss. I really like these albums that have an explosive opening, and the tracks on here follow up that energy mostly consistently. This album ain't perfect. It does fall off a bit on some parts, but as always, it's a great listen. At the time of this recording, their newest album releases tonight, so later on I'll come back to give my thoughts on Kama, or however the fuck you pronounce that. First thing I noticed about this album the second it dropped is that runtime, because damn, without a shadow of a doubt, this is their shortest album, clocking in at a mere 32 minutes. Second thing I noticed as soon as I started the album is that there's definitely a different vibe to this one. I guess they really wanted to match the cover art because this is very ominous and intimidating sounding. I didn't really know who any of the features were except for Dino Cazares from Fear Factory, but I thought all the features sounded great. I did really enjoy this album, but it is not perfect. Some of the songs do drag on a tiny bit for me, even though this is their shortest record, but this is far from being bad. My favorite songs on here definitely have to be Favelish / Dystopia and the title track. And with that, we are finally done with Soulfly. What a journey this has been. From Sepultura to Soulfly, Max Cavalera just still has it in him. I don't know how much longer they'll keep making music, but I'm just glad we still got the Cavalera brothers, but we still got them. And now it's finally time to rank the Soulfly albums from worst to best. Archangel, Savages, Prophecy, Conquer, 3, Totem, Ritual, Comma, Enslaved, Omen, Dark Ages, Soulfly, Primitive. Next video will be on Dream Theater, and that one's definitely gonna take me a fucking while to get through. And with that, that's the end of the video, and you all can finally get out of here.